thank you everyone. I already know some of you. I don't know everyone, but a few of you I've worked with or know me since quite a long time. I'm Sibilla Guida. I'm a behavioral scientist and I'm an associate professor in economics at the Department of Economics. And I'm actually glad I was after you. Yeah, I was looking after you because what I do is exactly complementary to what you do. In the sense that what I do is theory. So my work basically is how to study how people choose how to behave and how to convince them to do what I want them to do. So it's exactly not the opposite, but complementary. So in general, I started as a behavioral scientist, and I have several research interests all around human behavior. So one topic is I study strategic thinking in interactive situations. So every situation, every setting in which the outcome doesn't depend on the behavior of a single person, but more than one or two entities or whatever. And then studying how people strategically think about it. So how much they think about what the other person interacting with them are doing. That's what I study. I had some collaboration with Anne-Sophie down there in health economics, and in particular studying incentive structure in how in the payment schemes of doctors and how this affects how they treat patients. I studied surplus allocation and production in many different contexts, so how people decide how to divide the product of what they created together. And finally, work on perception of low probability and risks, which might sound very abstract, but is actually very applied, because what it entails is that I've studied how people, for example, underestimate risk in many different situations. For example, when you do some jobs, I don't know, in a construction building and people tend not to use the helmet or the safety systems, that's because they underestimate the low probability events. And we studied how to make them comply to these rules so that there is no risk of danger. Or, for example, in the case of COVID, is about how the people tends to underestimate the risk of contracting COVID, and therefore they do not behave according to the guidance. So, as you can see, in general, I am the theory behind this kind of research, and I'm also, let's say, the what's called the wind tester, tunnel, because I run experiments. So if you want to implement a policy, of course, you have a lot of theory behind it, a lot of thoughts, but before implementing it, normally it's better to have a test to see how people actually perceived our ideas. So do they really behave as we expect them to behave? So I do this through experiments. So I create a situation, an artifactual situation, where I can see how people react to the stimulus we give to them. Can be totally fictitious. It can be in a lab, it can be online, but it can also be on the field. So we can test it with actual people. For example, I work a little bit with kids. We did some tests in the school to see how they were behaving according to some stimulus we gave them. So what I'm looking for in Driven, well, as you might understand, I'm theory, mostly, and research. So what I would like to is to find somebody who knows well, let's say, the Danish society, understands what are the hot topic, the important topics that the society needs help to solve, and that can collaborate with me so that I can, support with the theory, help with the testing, and then we can produce something which can actually be used and of use for the society. Yeah, that's pretty much it.